If you've watched Donald Trump speak at any point this year, you don't need a doctor or a diagnosis to see something is off. The rambling speeches, the bizarre tangents, the moments where he seems to forget where he is or what he was saying. Look, you can deny a lot in politics, but you can't deny what's right in front of your face. No amount of makeup, stage managing, or frantic cleanup from his handlers can hide the fact that the man looks tired, unfocused, and increasingly overwhelmed. And here's the thing. People inside his own party are starting to say the quiet part out loud.
Because you're anything but. All right, so I do have a question. I tried to get an answer out of you on radio. Okay, the question is, when did you notice Joe Biden's cognitive decline? And don't change the subject and deflect. When did you really notice it?
Well, I think it was through all of the times that Donald Trump has fallen asleep in public and talked about, magnets getting wet in the last few,
oh my gosh.
My mom had dementia, so I recognize it.
Stephanie, this is not, it's a very good deflection. You're a professional.
You know what
radio
else
talk
is
shows.
great
You're
about
very good.
Biden's decline is that Trump is all over the Epstein files, and I'm wondering if they're going to release those. Are you covering that tonight?
Not really, because the woman that apparently they're talking about is the one that said he was a gentleman and never did anything wrong. And the person that had a grudge was the guy that got thrown out of Mar-a-Lago 25 years ago. And by the way, when you get thrown out of a club in Palm Beach, Florida, that's kind of a big deal. And it's very humiliating and embarrassing. And he was a convicted pedophile. So I'm not exactly putting a lot of gospel truth in what he said.
Trump was mad that he was stealing his girls, but
Roberts Court thwarted that effort when it found that Trump's process was completely contrary to law, and the president's pretext for adding the blatantly political citizenship question was, quote, contrived. The Trump administration told the court that they needed the citizen question to help enforce the Voting Rights Act, and then after oral arguments, evidence came to light indicating that the request of the administration, a GOP redistricting expert, had provided an analysis showing that the addition of a citizenship question to the census and the use of citizen-only data for redistricting would politically benefit Republicans and the white community. The Supreme Court found the administration's formal excuses completely unbelievable, calling them contrived. Now, in a second term, Trump and his allies are once again seeking to weaponize the census in an unlawful way and undermining its accuracy. Trump instructed the Commerce Department to exclude undocumented immigrants from the census count, a policy that one three-judge panel said, quote, has already been rejected by the Constitution, the applicable statutes, in 230 years of our history. The Constitution makes clear that the census includes, quote, the whole number of persons in each state to ensure a complete picture of who resides in the country, as Republican Senator Jacob Howard of Michigan stated during his introduction of the 14th Amendment in 1866, quote, the basis of representation is numbers. That is the whole population, numbers, not voters, numbers, not property. That's the theory of our Constitution. In the face of this overwhelming textual and historical evidence telling us that every person must be counted, some state officials have filed meritless lawsuits against the Commerce Department challenging the constitutionality of the Census Bureau's longstanding constitutionally mandated practice to count all persons who reside within the U.S., regardless of their citizenship status. Right-wing legal activists in Florida have also filed suit against the Commerce Department, claiming that the census's use of group quarters count imputation and differential privacy violated the Constitution and the Census Act, and call the accuracy of the census into question. Don't let the jargon or these tortured arguments fool you. The lawsuits are part of a coordinated strategy to give cover to this mid-decade attack on the 2020 census's apportionment count ahead of the midterms. Our democracy and our society cannot afford our constitutional census being turned into a constant instrument of partisan conflict, division, and advantage. Let's reject this dangerous direction. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back to you.
The facade is cracking, the loyalty is thinning, and Republicans who once treated him like a political god are suddenly looking for exits. Today, we're diving into the clips, the cracks, and the Republican panic that's spilling into public view. But before we do, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and buckle up, because what's happening to Trump politically right now is unlike anything we've seen before.